Greetings and salutations, one and all. Welcome to another night shift. It's a night we do a thing we call healthy love. Where we keep our bodies healthy and the love juicy.
Kerry J, Millionaire Family.
Kicking it off tonight with a little Kerry John.
And it's the drinking, show me what you're drinking. Somebody bring me liquor.
A track called Rum Again.
Don't tell me that it's done. Whoa, say we DJ Don't tell me it's have none. Don't tell me it's have none. Cause I come to drink rum again. It's in my brain. If I drunk today, drunk tomorrow again. It's rum again. It's in my brain. Say don't complain. Grab your friend and let we drink. Drink. Grab your coolers with your drink. Drink. Whoa, na. Rum is the only thing we chasing. And not a dripper that we wasting. You could bring out your crew, I go bring out my crew. We had them coolers stacked with drinks and cooked food. I'm in a good mood to drink and get on rude. This is back on us, so listen what I want you do. Somebody bring me liquor. Don't tell me that it's done. Don't tell me that it's done. Boy, say we the chaser. Don't tell me it's have none. Don't tell me it's have none. Cause I want to drink rum again. It's in my brain. If I drunk today, drunk tomorrow again. It's rum again. It's in my brain. Hey, put some straight. Grab your coolers with your drinks. Drinks. Hug up your friend and let we drink. Drink. Whoa, na. We popping bottles by the cases. Remember now we not watching faces. You could bring out your crew, I chillin' with my crew. We have we coolers packed with drinks and cooked food. I'm in a good mood, let we get on rude. This is carnival, so listen what I want you do. Somebody bring the liquor. Don't tell me that it's done. Don't tell me that it's done. Boy, say we the chaser. Don't tell me it's have none. Don't tell me it's have none. Cause I want to drink rum again. It's in my brain. If I drunk today, drunk tomorrow again. Rum again. It's in my brain.
Alright, time to stop multitasking and focus on one thing.
Drink.
I want to thank you all for tuning in.
Don't tell me it's have none. Don't tell me
I want to say big ups to all those affiliated with the Night Shift with DJ Kevin Stew.
it's in my brain.
That's all the affiliate stations carrying the broadcast. Thank you very much.
It's rum
Big up to those tuning on TuneIn Radio, the Night Shift with DJ Kevin Stew.
straight. Grab your coolers with your
Those locked in on One Harmony Radio.
drink.
Top of the morning to you guys over there in the UK.
Hug up your friend and let we drink.
Those on WGLRO out of Texas, the People Station.
Popping bottles by the cases.
Oliwap Radio, Dusic Media Group.
Watching faces.
Big ups to you.
You could bring out your crew.
Those on ClintonLindsay.com, the Foundation Radio Network.
Packed with drinks and cooked food. I'm in a good mood.
All of you locked in on NIE Radio.
This is carnival, so listen.
Blessings to you.
Somebody bring the liquor. Don't tell me that it's done.
And those locked in on Island Worldwide, where I show the power of music.
It's have none. Don't tell me it's have none. Cause I want to drink.
Blessings to you all. So glad to have you. Couldn't do it without you.
Drunk tomorrow again.
You have my word, I wouldn't even try.
It's in my brain. Say don't complain. Just grab your
I
friend.
want to say big ups to those on Palsy Media Group.
Drink.
Hey man, enough love to you guys over there on Pulse.
I'm in a good mood. Let we get on rude. This is carnival, so listen what I
Putting in the hard work.
want. Bring the liquor.
So those of you going over to kevinstew.com right now,
Don't tell me that it's done.
you'll see that you're not getting on. Check back later. It's all about Facebook Live for now.
Cause I want to drink
Yeah, we're hanging out on Facebook Live for a little while. Big ups to those on Facebook Live. Hey Marva, how you doing, nurse? What you drinking? Hey Althea. I'm ready for a massage, you know. I want to say thank you to Pulse Media Group for sponsoring this first segment of the broadcast. When being in a moment is priceless, give them a call for innovative streaming and recording solutions. 754-999-6020. They do everything that you would see on kevinstew.com and more. You have an event you want to stream live? Drink, 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 drink. All I we see I go drink, 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 drink. All I we see I go drink, 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 drink. Yeah, you have an event you want to stream live. Still multitasking. I do apologize. If I drunk today, drunk tomorrow again. Drinking celery juice, Marva. That's it. The nurse leading by example. So, where was I? Yeah, seminars, church services, funerals, parties, weddings, graduations. You name it. They can hook you up with the services that you need for streaming your event. The track is called Rum Again. Courtesy of Kerry John. Inviting to call a friend, tell a friend. Friends of your friends, friends of your enemies, enemies of your friends. Tell them it's night shift to DJ Kevin Stew. We're gonna be hanging out on Facebook Live for a cool minute tonight. Pulse Media Group have to do some actually they had to suddenly do make some changes, and they're down for a moment. So I'm gonna be hanging out with you guys on Facebook Live for a little while, but never fear. The line is open. You can call, you can text, you can WhatsApp, you can Telegram. 773-789-STEW 773-789-7839. You can hit me up and be active participants in the broadcast. Some people already on Facebook Live participating. Thank you guys very much for tuning in. Inviting you to share. Tell everybody. Call everybody. Tell them to come on over. It's Healthy Love Night. All right, so see what kind of juicy, how we can keep the love juicy tonight and remain healthy. Now, it's funny that Marva immediately says, I am drinking celery juice, no soda for me. You know, I cannot tell the last time I had a soda, to be honest with you. And so Althea, you drinking celery juice too? Alright, great. So my RN and my massage therapist / personal trainer on the celery juice tip, maybe they're onto something. You guys might want to tell us the benefits of drinking celery juice and how often you're doing it and how you've been feeling since doing it. Yeah, you guys might need to come and share with me tonight. I know. 773-789-STEW 773-789-7839. Alright, so Marva said she's not drinking any soda. And that is interesting because there are some surprising side effects that soda has on your immune system. And this is as according to science. And let me see. How far back can we go? Because as far back as anybody that is tuned in right now can go, people have been drinking sodas. Now, the content, the ingredients of the sodas have changed only ever so slightly over time. But we're dealing with right now and not long time ago. So here's what is happening right now. We know that soda is not good for us, right? But you may be thinking in terms of your waste. And according to eatthis.com, they're saying you may be thinking in terms of your waistline, you may be thinking about heart health. But it goes further than that. Because the immune system is often overlooked. And we don't usually hear anything relating to sodas and the immune system. Now, since soda is primarily made of sugar, and sugar is known, not the artist sugar, by the way, sugar, the product from sugar cane. Sugar is known to weaken immune function. It's actually fair to say that soda can wreak havoc on your body's ability to combat illness. So, what eatthis.com has done is that they went and they had a breakdown of 5 ways routine soda consumption can pose a threat to immunity. And this is something that is quite concerning to me. In on the chat here, Mava says it's the excess use of these unhealthy foods that's the real issue. The high fructose corn syrup, right? Right, Mava? Yeah. So they're using corn syrup sugar. Corn syrup as a sweetener in a lot of the beverages. In fact, in a lot of what we consume today is high fructose corn syrup. You read the ingredients. It's in things that you'd never think that it would be in. So give it a few years, you'll probably find high fructose corn syrup in water. Give it a few years. So, firstly, on the list, soda feeds bacteria. So, just one. All right, y'all stay with me. Just one 12-ounce can of soda. One 12-ounce can of they mentioned Coca-Cola specifically contains 39 grams of added sugars, which can cause a host of health issues if consumed in excess. And all the time. So if you consume it in excess and you consume it all the time, you're not just running into one little bit of a problem, you're running into a host of problems. TC, my brother, how you doing? Good to see you, man. Enough love, brother. Enough love. For those of you are on the live right now, you see TC Flex right there. Big him up for me. This is the man that put me on radio the very first time. And he's partially responsible for what you see right now. TC Flex. Healthy Love started on Flex FM. TC Flex. Good to see you, brother. Good to see you. Alright, so just one 12-ounce can of soda, 12-ounce can of Coca-Cola contains 39 grams of added sugars. In fact, sugar is a breeding ground for bacteria and viruses to spread throughout the body. In general, sugar can suppress the immune system because it curbs key cells that help keep bacteria out. So, if you're going to have a can of Coke, make sure to limit your consumption to just once a week if you can. For me, once a week seems like too much. Now, it also increases your risk of infection. So, this goes for everyone. But it's an even greater concern for those with type 2 diabetes. The sugar in soda affects your immune system's white blood cells. And these all important cells are responsible for fighting infection. This is why white blood cells are commonly referred to as the killer cells. Those who have type 2 diabetes are already susceptible to other serious health complications, such as adverse symptoms of COVID-19. So it is critical that they keep their non-diet soda consumption really low. Now, the next thing is soda heightens your risk of type 2 diabetes. So we recognized that diabetes is a problem with the sugar. Soda can heighten your risk. Cracking open a can of Dr. Pepper or two each afternoon may not only cause you to yo-yo between feeling energized and sluggish, but it may also increase your risk of type 2 diabetes. Routinely drinking sugar-sweetened beverages can decrease your insulin sensitivity, which is a major risk factor for developing type 2 diabetes. Aside from cutting soda out of your diet, other ways you can improve insulin sensitivity is by removing saturated fats found in processed foods and red meat, as well as implementing a diverse exercise routine. So those of you who don't have an exercise routine yet, you see Althea SU right there on on the live in the chat. Go ahead and hit her up. She is a certified personal trainer. So after she works you out and gets you pained up, gets your muscles all achy, don't worry about it. She's also a licensed massage therapist. So she's your all-in-one, your one-stop shop. And she doesn't drink soda. She's currently drinking celery juice, along with Marva Riley, who is a registered nurse for how long now, Marva? Over 25 years, an RN. Working in critical care. She wrote the book Eat, Sleep, Meditate. So you can check her out. If you haven't seen that book yet, or if you haven't read that book yet, get it. And she is drinking celery juice also. So yeah, I might want to get on that. My best friend only drank Coca-Cola for over 20 years. Let me read this comment here. Somebody just commented and push it down. Okay. My best friend only drank Coca-Cola for over 20 years. Very, very little water. She would go through a 2 liter in one day. She had a heart attack 8 months ago. Real thing. Real thing. Marva says, sugar is in so much more than sugar. So-called juices, salad dressings loaded with sugar. Yeah, true. So, 22 years. Marva's 22 years as an RN. So, and she works in critical care. And yeah, definitely you want to check out her website, you want to check out her book, you want to connect with Marva, you want to connect with Althea, massage therapist and personal trainer. You connect with these people, and all this that we're talking about tonight, you can pretty much start working on getting away from that. So, cracking open a can of Dr. Pepper can increase your risk of type 2 diabetes. Okay, so let me go ahead and take this call here because we need to get... Hello? Hello? Are you with me? Hello? Oop, that was loud. Hello? Are you hearing me? I can hear you. Are you hearing me? Hello? The song say hello, hello, hello. Okay, let me see if I can get her back. All this that we're talking about tonight, you can pretty much start working on getting. Okay, so all right, let me see if I can get Marva back on. That was crazy. So I was hearing her, but she wasn't hearing me. Um, let's see. Okay, here we go. Hello, Marva, are you there? Hello, hello, Marva, you hearing me?
Hello?
Yes, are you hearing me? Hello,
Hello?
Marva, you hearing me?
I can hear you now.
Okay, there we go. Hey, Nurse Riley, how are you?
I am doing so good. I had to stay up. You know, I go to my bed early,
Yes.
but when I saw your topic, I said, I've got to stay up.
Well, you go to bed early because it's a part of the routine. You eat, you sleep, you meditate, and
That's
sleep is
right.
is an integral part of the routine.
And sleep is so vital for health.
Yes.
Yes.
So you mentioned in on the live that you're drinking celery juice.
Yes.
What's up with the celery juice? Because
Okay.
Althea said she's doing the same thing, so I guess you guys planned up.
Okay, so the story goes like this.
Uh huh.
We have a Facebook health and wellness support group that we call the Doctor in You.
Got you.
And as a few of we all are learning from each other, and a few of our members are avid juicers, and a few of them drink celery juice regularly. I was experiencing a little bit of brain fog, and my eyes weren't looking very clear. I just felt like I was missing some nutrient or something.
Yeah.
And as it were, it's like God sent me to ask these ladies, why do you drink celery juice every day? What benefits do you get from it? And all three ladies told me that it helped to clear up their brain fog.
Oh wow.
And that's what I was experiencing, because when you get to menopause like I am, brain fog is kind of common. Okay. And all three ladies said it cleared up their brain fog. So I started celery juicing, and I kid you not, the brain fog is gone. My eyes are very clear and bright. My hair is growing a lot. My skin is glowing, and I have a lot of energy. And the biggest bang that I got is that I was able to kick coffee drinking to the curb.
All right. So first off, describe this brain fog to me. What was it like?
Okay, hard to describe, but it's like you don't feel like you're very clear in your thought. Kind of, I don't want to use the word foggy because I'm using a word to describe it, but it's like you're not very clear in your thought. Sometimes you feel like you're being forgetful, and it's a very common symptom that women of menopausal age experience. And it's a little bit frightening because you think that you might forget something important, for example.
Right.
And but whatever happens to me, my first instinct is always to go to nutrition and lifestyle. I was getting adequate sleep. I'm not stressed out. I'm exercising. I'm eating very healthy. What else can I do? And there's actually a book written just about celery juicing and its health benefits.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
But that's my experience. Clearer mind, clearer thinking. My skin is glowing. My hair has grown a lot. And I have more energy. And the biggest thing is that I was able to get rid of coffee drinking. Coffee doesn't give me any energy like a lot of people. I was just drinking it out of habit. And I wanted to kick it. But every time I tried to get rid of coffee drinking, I would get massive headaches. The first day I started celery juicing, I got a little headache. I got some headache. And I
Right.
decided I was going to stay the course. By the next day, absolutely no headache, and it's almost 3 weeks now.
Mm.
And I have no desire for coffee, none. And I'm very energetic.
Wow. You see, so for all the coffee drinkers out there, you and look at it this way: coffee stains your teeth. Um, Coffee has some other not so pleasant side effects. Those who are hooked on coffee and you try to get off, you're not the first person, Marvel, that I've heard say, when I don't drink coffee, I get headaches. So the caffeine addiction, I guess that is withdrawal. So celery juice, and all you do is just juice the celery. You don't add anything to it. You just juice the celery, and that's it.
Actually, the gentleman who wrote the book on celery juicing, he's not a medical doctor, but he had these great experience, and then he connected with a whole bunch of people and did their own experiment.
Right.
And his recommendation is do not add anything for if you want the most benefit out of the celery juicing, do
Yes.
not add any water, nothing to it. So I blend it in my blender, and I have a cheesecloth bag, like a coffee bag that like our grandparents used to use, and I squeeze the juice. There's some people who have a professional juicer that when you put the celery in, it'll extract the juice and get rid of the
The trash.
other stuff.
Yeah.
The trash, yes, as we
Yeah.
would say, yeah. But
Yep.
I blend it in my blender and use the cheesecloth to wring the juice, and I drink it. You're supposed to drink it first thing in the morning on an empty stomach. It does not make me nauseous, and you actually acquire the taste, and it tastes pretty good. Some people can stand the taste, like some members of my group have started doing it, and they'll add like a half of a green apple or a piece of ginger to it. But the best thing is not to add anything to it and to take it 15 minutes before you eat anything.
How many times a day?
I'm sorry?
How many times a day?
Once a day. It is recommended, based on the research, that you drink 16 ounces of it first thing in the morning. So that's what I do. You get 16 ounces. If you have a big bundle of celery and you
Yes.
juice half of it, it's more than likely you'll get 16 ounces from that.
Huh. So, what if you started with 8 ounces?
That's exactly what I did, because I had tried green juicing some years ago and I couldn't stand the taste. But it's all about the mindset. Okay? It's all about the mindset. I was committed to finding something to get rid of this brain fog. I look at in my eyes, and my eyes were nice and clear, and I didn't like it. And those were the two main reasons why I started celery juicing. So what I did initially, I started by drinking 4 ounces like at nighttime before I go to bed. Because I figure if it made me nauseous, at least I'm sleeping. And then
Okay.
I went to 8 ounces in the morning, and then I'm up to the 16 ounces now. And I have my hubby drinking it too, and he loves it.
Really?
Yes, it really helps energize him, and he says it just makes him feel good.
You know, I saw I don't know what it is, but it must be a thing going around. I saw some celery juice in my fridge, and I've been inching toward teething out some, but maybe I'm going to have to move from inches to centimeters and get that much closer to stealing out. So if I can get away with it, I'll see.
Yeah. It's all about the bottom line. Your show tonight is about food and health.
Yes.
Okay, and it's all about the nutrition. It's all about the nutrition. My dad is 89 years old and is totally independent.
Nice.
And as you know, those elderly people from the islands, they don't eat junk.
Yeah.
Well, my dad likes Jamaican ginger biscuit. And he'll have a cup of herbal tea at
Mm-hmm.
night with a couple ginger biscuit. But it's a
Right.
couple ginger biscuit. He's not going to eat a whole pack of ginger biscuit, you
Mm.
know. But they eat the roots, the yam, the potato, the cocoa,
Right.
fish, cerasee, mint. Those are the things, and that's why they can live to be 100 years old, still clear-minded, and still able to do their own business. Whereas we here in the United States, we're the most obese.
Mm-hmm.
My husband was telling me today, he shared an article he read that says the United States is one of 2 countries in the entire world where the average American eats 250 pounds of meat per year.
Mm.
Now,
Yeah.
could that be the reason why we're one of the sickest nations in the world? The richest, but the sickest, with the most obese, most heart disease, cancer, and all those health issues that render people in their 40s and 50s and 60s disabled and not able to enjoy life and do the things that they like to do because they're sick. They're constantly going to the doctor, the doctor, the doctor, the doctor, the doctor.
Yep. Yep. And now we know why. Well, actually, we haven't gotten the full story why yet. But I've been doing this health broadcast for 10 years, and if there's one thing that remains a constant, it is the fact that what we eat is going to either keep us alive or kill us.
Yes. Food is medicine,
Mm-hmm.
and food is poison.
Yep.
It's our choice.
Yep. And so tonight, what I'm looking at is the fast food industry, basically, and how it affects our immunity. And the mere fact that this information is available means that it is information that has been known for a while. So, my question then is why, if we know that fast food can be harmful to us, is it such a high selling product in the United States? Hey B, welcome, welcome to the show, welcome to the broadcast. Why is it that fast food is the go-to in the United States? It's puzzling to me. And
Well,
sodas go very well with fast food. And when I say fast food, I'm talking about the burger and fries and the hot dog and the what those would be the main ones. Because let's face it, patty and cocoa bread is fast food too, So, talking to my Jamaican counterparts, patty and cocoa bread is fast food. But for some reason, it is just not as fast foody as a burger or a hot dog. So, I don't know if it is how it is that the patties are made. I don't know. Hey Erica, how you doing? Glad to see you. I haven't seen you all year. Happy New Year, Erica. So, I thank you for your input here, Marva, because this is key. First hand information of celery juice drinking, and the benefits of it. Althea said she's drinking celery juice too. Althea, what are some of your findings? How long have you been drinking it, and what have you found happening with you since you started drinking it? How long did you say you're drinking it now, Marva?
uh, Thursday will be 3 full weeks.
3 weeks? Just 3 weeks?
Just 3 weeks, and my hair is glowing, and
In
my
three
skin, I feel
weeks?
just 3 weeks. There is a lady that I saw on YouTube. that gave her testimony. She said she's been celery juicing every day for 3 years, and her hair was at her tailbone. That's how much her hair had grown. And she talked about, she had gastric issues that she said were reversed. There's a lot of testimonials about that.
Mm-hmm.
But while you're on this fast food thing, the thing is that everywhere you go, I went to Italy and I saw McDonald's. If I saw that big M in it, wherever, I know I can go there to go to the bathroom, for example. So the M and all these other places, they are everywhere.
Yes.
And they're always advertising. And also, the food that they sell, that these fast fooders sell, are addictive. Sugar is addictive.
Yes.
Salt is addictive.
Mm-hmm.
The preservatives they put in are addictive. And we start feeding our children or babies the Happy Meals and those things.
Yes.
And so the brain loves sugar.
Yes.
So it is very easy for the brain to get so addicted to sugar and salt and these other preservatives that it draws you. If it's like a drug addict, if you're on heroin or any other drug, you're constantly crave these drugs.
Right.
But it's the same thing with fast food. Okay, you start introducing your child to Happy Meals and those things. Every time they pass McDonald's, they're gonna want that Happy Meal.
Mm-hmm.
They're very addictive and they're constantly in your face. In the schools, the children are not being fed fruits and vegetables and salads.
Right.
If you ever watch the documentary, What the Food, you'll see the children are being introduced to hot dogs, hamburgers, sloppy joe, French fries, sodas, juices that are filled with sugar and preservatives. They're not being given water. So from an early age, the kids are being programmed. Milk, whole milk, has sugar.
Well,
and what do people feed their children? Milk, cereal, Kevin. Oh my God. So, who does not give their children cereal? Cereals are loaded with sugar.
A few years ago, and I probably need to revisit it now. A few years ago, I did a whole broadcast that I titled Serial Killers. And it looked at just that. Cereals that we have, name brand products, things that we in Jamaica. I remember growing up in Jamaica, it was a big deal for a barrel to come from foreign, and it had cereal in it. And as such, typically Jamaicans that migrated to the US called every cereal one particular brand. But, every cereal was a big thing. And now, here it is, when you look deeper into it, when you hear serial killer, it is not the individual that goes out taking human lives because of a certain trait. We're talking about these products that you pick up on store shelves that is taking out everybody. And this is what we give to our children.
And we can change that. We can start giving our kids, say, for example, oatmeal. Oatmeal. Make the oatmeal, add some apples, some berries to the children. But we have to introduce those things to the children at a young age so that they don't get used to sugar. And also when we're giving our kids a treat, rather than giving them a cookie or something like that, give them a slice of an apple or some berries, something healthy.
But that's not fun. That's not a fun treat.
But it becomes fun. You know what? I remember when I was in school and we used to, and they would celebrate Christmas and Easter and all of that. And they had a bunch of Jehovah's Witnesses in our school.
Mm-hmm.
And they did not celebrate these things. And these kids didn't feel any way about it because they never grew up celebrating Christmas. They never grew up celebrating Easter. They never grew up celebrating these holidays.
Right.
And they were quite fine. They were quite fine with it. Well, if we introduce our kids to this healthy way of
Mm-hmm.
eating, that's what they're gonna know, and they will reject the
Right.
the Happy Meal, and they will reject, and even if they go out, they will learn to make the healthier choice. But it has to begin at home. If we introduce water to our kids as opposed to juice, never have juice in our refrigerator. Water. So when they're thirsty, we hand them some water. And when they see us drinking water, we are the example.
Yes. My boys drink water like it's going out of style. I'm so proud whenever we go out anywhere. You know, they're like, oh, 1 second, daddy, let me go get my water bottle. They don't leave the house without it. And we're at home, they're constantly going to the fridge. Water, water,
Yes.
water. Round the clock, water, water. And I drink water all the time. And I'm sitting here right now. See, here's my water bottle. I have my water all the time. So, you know, this, and I wasn't always that way. At one point, I needed to have juice. I needed to have to have soda. No, as soon as I tried a soda the other day, and as soon as it touched my lips, my cheeks kind of, it's like the muscles in my cheeks just contracted, and I got that you know, that sour face. It's like you just take an actual lemon and bite into it, and it just locks up your whole mouth. That kind of a thing. The high fructose corn syrup, I could taste it. And this is because I moved away from drinking soda. Erica is saying it's true about the cereal because we didn't have them in Jamaica.
No,
So
we
it was a
drank,
big thing.
we drank cornmeal porridge made from real corn that our parents grated and made cornmeal porridge. And we had oats, and we had banana and plantain and arrowroot. Those are natural things made that grow in the earth. And then we would top that off with some delicious nutmeg and cinnamon. Okay, and we never, if we had any condensed milk, it was just a tad of condensed milk, just to give it a little light, a little taste.
Well,
Okay, and sometimes you'd put some coconut milk or something. That was healthy stuff. But
I went to
what
town
we're
with condensed milk and Milo. Went to town. What?
That's what we grew up on. Those were the real food. Those are healing foods.
Yes.
Now the foods that our kids have been exposed to at a young age are poisonous foods, and the ones that are most affected are poorer kids. Okay, poorer kids, poorer minority
The
kids.
disenfranchised, yes.
Yes, where WIC is giving these moms these poisonous kids things to feed to their little babies, and so the babies get hooked from a very young age. People that are upper class and oftentimes middle and upper class, they're more educated, and for the most part, they make better choices for themselves and their children. So it is the poorer folks that are being most affected by the poison of fast food. And by the way, Kevin,
yes.
fast food makes our blood acidic. Healthy foods make our blood a little bit more alkaline, which is healthy. And a person with acidic blood is an unhealthy person.
Yes.
And if your blood is slightly alkaline, you're more healthy, and diseases cannot live Much research has said
In an
that
alkaline
diseases cannot
environment.
live in a slightly not too alkaline now,
Yes.
but in a slightly alkaline body because diseases are of the blood.
You know, these are some of the things that kind of fly over people's heads. Erica is saying, she's in the process of writing a paper on food alternatives right now. So us having this discussion is quite timely. Hey JC, welcome to the broadcast. JC says once you program your mind, the mind will cooperate.
Absolutely. But change begins in the mind. The
Well,
Bible says,
yes,
be ye transformed by the renewing
of your
of your
mind.
mind.
Yeah, Romans.
Once you make up your mind, the rest is okay. Let me give you a little quick story. My hubby just finished a 10-day water fast. That means for 10 days, all he consumed was water.
Nothing else?
Nothing else. And I'm telling you, had I told him to do it, recommended he do it, he probably would not have done it. But he confided in me that there were some things going on in his body that he wasn't quite pleased with.
Yes.
And he decided he knows the power of fasting. So he decided to go on a water fast. No, that had to begin in his mind.
Right.
He made up his mind and he sat there at the table with me eating my dinner. And I said, aren't you tempted? Aren't you hungry? He said, no.
Wow.
Mind.
Yeah, that's some powerful thing right there. That's right there to be of the mindset that I will not do anything else but this. And most people, it's water. It tasteless, yeah, and they don't like it like that. It has to have a little bit of a flavor in it. He didn't add anything to it. Not a mint leaf, not a spritz of lime or lemon. Nothing, just pure water.
For the first 6 days, he drank just the plain water that we have at home.
Yes.
But he likes Pellegrino mineral water.
Okay.
Maybe because of the fizz or whatever. And so on day 6, I asked him, do you want me to get some Pellegrino? Because, he likes it.
Right.
And he said, okay. So from day 6 to 10, he drank the
mineral water.
Pellegrino mineral water. But that's it. Never added any flavor, no mint, no ginger, no nothing. And he still worked out, still lifted weights, not heavy weights, but he still lifted weight.
Yeah.
And he still walked and got sunlight, would rest in between, but he wasn't weak. And he wasn't weak or sick. In fact, there were some things going on that has cleared up. I noticed that his eyes are clear and he's very energetic. And his clothes are fitting him nicely the way that they should.
The way that you like it.
Powerful, yes.
you can say it. You can say it the way you like it.
I tell him he doesn't look 6 months pregnant no more. But look really good and healthy.
Yes.
Fasting heals the body because our body, whenever it's taking in nutrition, is focused on nutrition. That's why at night our body heals itself. When you stop eating, that's when the body starts doing its work by healing and repairing itself.
You mentioned baby formula. I had to also look at baby formula a couple of years ago because I remember my children getting the formula, and then I looked into it. These products also contain a lot of sugars. So essentially what we are doing is setting up a society to be dependent on medical products. This is pretty much
Absolutely.
this is the bottom line. We are setting up our society to be dependent on pharmaceuticals.
Yes.
Because if we know that sugar is one of those things that is guaranteed to cause ill health, why is it in everything?
Well, that's the whole point. To get you hooked so that you can gain weight and get fat. And when you gain weight and get fat, you'll be diabetic, you'll have high blood pressure, you'll have inflammation, you'll have joint disease, you'll have arthritis, you'll have bowel issues. That's why there's so many obese children around, because these poor little kids are being hooked on formula from birth, and then the cereal and the milk and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
And no matter how these children run around, they cannot lose weight because they're being pumped with sugar and hot dog and hamburger that are loaded with so much junk that's
Well-
poisoning their system. And so they grow up to be adults that are diabetic and obese and have heart disease and inflammatory issues that cause joint pain and all of that. And then they die or they become disabled at a very young age. I remember some years ago when Mrs. Obama became the first lady, and she came out strong. Oh, I'm going to make sure that the schools offer healthy foods to the children. And
Yes, I remember that.
And she was silenced by the food community.
Yeah.
Okay, because our children must be hooked on these things and they must be unwell. And then they become unwell young adults and unwell older adults, because how else can blood pressure and diabetes pills be sold?
So
You've got to be sick.
let me live up to the reputation that I've been blessed with, so to speak. I heard late last year that I'm a conspiracy theorist. So as it relates to Michelle Obama taking that stand on healthy food in the schools for children, or elementary or school age children, you're saying that she was silenced by the food industry. I would like to go out even a bit further and say she was silenced by the pharmaceutical industry.
Well, you know what? Do you know the FDA? Okay, and it's not me who said that. If you watch the documentary, What the Food, and several other documentaries, you'll hear them say that, really. Okay, so I'm repeating what they've said.
Yeah.
But the thing is that the food and the drug industry is under one umbrella.
Yeah, FDA, Food and Drug Administration. Anybody? I don't know if that went over people's head also. Connect the dots, people.
Yeah, so it's one and the same, really. It's the same people that run this industry, and they have lobbyists, okay, that go and lobby, that are paid lots and lots of money to lobby for their cause.
Right.
Okay, and they can silence anyone. And if you remember some years ago, I remember that. I can say that. I remember when Oprah Winfrey was sued by the beef industry. And I remember hearing her on her show, y'all, please, whoever you pray to, whether it's Jesus or Buddha or whoever it is, please pray for me, because the beef industry is going to do me under.
Yeah.
Okay? So the food and drug industry is one and the same, and they are super powerful, and they silence anyone. But the thing is that the beauty about it is that we can make our own individual decision.
Okay, so now
to do what's right for me, to do what's right for your boys, to do what's right for your wife, to do what's right for your family. That's the control you have. And then when you have found out what works, you can tell one and tell two, and before you know it, a whole community of people would have known that, listen, You need to choose water as opposed to soda. You need to choose water as opposed to juice. You need to have apple instead of crackers. You know
So,
what I mean?
so
That kind of thing.
Marva, at this point, you're saying we need to stop being sheeple and be people. Because,
We're all our brothers, people.
yeah, but here's what I'm saying. Because we are so easily led,
Sorry about that.
we have become sheeple.
Mhm.
Because just like sheep, we're gonna follow the one that is in front of us, and everybody going to the left when we should have gone to the right. Everybody's gonna go to the left, and we're easily led astray that way. Now, I'm not telling anybody that what I'm saying is gospel. I'm just saying my job here is to stimulate your appetite, not to satisfy your hunger. When I give you information, you should be going out and looking for some more. When I looked up at cereal, I found out that these things are killers. When I looked at baby formula, I found out that it's loaded with sugar and other additives. The Food and Drug Administration.
So we can read labels. And the thing is too,
Oh,
I'm
not
sorry
to
to
mention
butt
that.
in. The thing is that there are even things in these food that are not listed on the label. Because I read a few years ago that the FDA doesn't require the food industry to put everything that is included
Yes.
in the stuff that we're consuming
Yes.
on the label.
Right. But even with GMOs, they're not. There's no company that is required to identify their product as GMO or non-GMO. Not in the United
GMO,
States.
Kevin, I think most of what we consume is genetically modified.
Well,
I don't think we'll be able to avoid genetically modified, because
Yeah.
even if you plant your own seed, it's a genetically modified seed.
yeah, I can't tell. Anytime I get a lemon or a lime that has seeds in it, I get excited. And I want people to think about this. I grew up with a lime tree in my yard. I grew up with an orange tree in my yard. These are fruits that have seeds.
Watermelon.
Watermelons. These have seeds. Today, you go into a store and you get oranges, you get lemons, you get limes, you get watermelons, you get, you name it.
Seedless.
Even the mangoes, the seeds are getting smaller.
Yes. They're all modified.
Grapes.
Yeah.
Seedless grapes was the biggest thing. So how are we producing these fruits exactly if these are seed-bearing fruits and they have no seeds?
They're genetically modified. But I don't think that, in all honesty, I don't think that we're going to be able to avoid the GMO. And I would say, if anyone asks my advice or my thoughts, I would say, do the best you can with eating healthy. If seedless watermelon is what you have, eat just seedless watermelon. It's sure better than eating crackers or these processed things on the shelf that's been sitting on the shelf or canned or in syrup juice and that kind of thing. Do
Yes.
the best you can, because we really cannot avoid the genetically modified mango, oranges, grapes, apples, and things. But in my opinion, it's a lot better to eat even the genetically modified fruits and vegetables and nuts, for example,
It's a lesser of the two
than,
evils.
than to be packing yourself up with the pork and the beef and the chicken and the canned this and the bottled that and all of that kind of stuff. Eating fresh foods. But even if you go to the islands, these people buy seeds from other countries, and I don't believe that. I believe they're getting genetically modified stuff. You rarely ever get seeded watermelon anymore. Even in the islands, they're selling, because people don't even want to eat seeded watermelon anymore. They can't be bothered with it.
I very seldom. I prefer to have the fruit juice, but if I'm gonna have a fruit, I want it to be the real fruit, to be honest. And but like you said, I settle with the lesser of the two evils and take the fruit that I can get, But people, we need to recognize that things have changed significantly and they haven't changed for the better. And there is a group that is benefiting substantially from our demise. And we can change it. We have the power to change it. But if we're continuing to be sheeple, then it is difficult. Because we're looking for that one who will get up and stand out and have that much influence. At that point now, when they get popular and have all the likes on social media, then we start paying attention. You don't need that. You just need to read a book. And if the book is too big, just read a headline. Come on.
There's a lot of information. Of course, you have to sift through the junk because
Yes.
people love to say research says and research says and research says. Whose research are you reading and believing? Okay,
Yes.
because a lot of researchers are privately funded by the food industry and by the drug industry, and they're skewed. Okay, so you have to probably read through 10 before you get something that is reasonable or is believable.
Yes.
But a lot of it you have to always question things.
Yeah.
Okay, but
Look at different articles.
Different articles. Who wrote the article? Who might have paid for?
Yes.
Who sponsored the article? All those things. You got to be very, very careful.
Right.
What you believe, because whatever it is you want to believe, you will find some kind of a research to back it up. But
Yes.
if you're open and willing to learn what's best for you, and why not? Because it's my health, it's your health.
Yes.
You're the one that's going to be sick if you don't do the right thing.
Exactly.
Not them.
Yes. So true.
Not them.
I want to quickly plug my segment sponsor before you bounce. Thank you, Althea, and your Healing Heavenly Hands. Althea SU is a licensed massage therapist of over 20 years. Coming to you, operating out of Broad County, North Miami-Dade, and South Palm Beach counties. She comes COVID-free. She'd like to leave that way, so if you have the virus, don't call her. And the only request that she has is that you get off her table when she's done, outside of paying her, of course. Get off her table when she's done and go sleep somewhere else, because you're guaranteed to fall asleep. I fall asleep all the time. So give her a call, 954-655-9000, 954-655-9000. And if you're in Broad County, North Miami-Dade, South Palm Beach counties, hit her up. Those of you that are on Facebook Live right now, she's there in the chat somewhere. Just scroll. If you don't see her post a response anytime soon, go ahead and scroll. You'll find her. Hit her up there. She's also a certified personal trainer. So you get it all in one place. And thank you to Reggae Global Entertainment also for sponsoring this current segment that we're in. Reggae Global will take care of your bookings, handle your tour management, take care of your copyrights, your publishing, your business registration, legal service referrals, music production, marketing and promotion, and more. Give them a call, 954-998-8034, or check them out online, reggaeglobalentertainment.com. Okay, so took care of that little bit of business. Marva, there when it comes to food, we get bombarded by the quick, the easy, the sugary, and the salty. Over and over and over again. That is what we're hit with. And we don't realize how much we're bombarded by the things that don't help. And it's at that point that we just lay like lamb to the slaughter. You have worked in critical care for most of your nursing life. And you yourself had been seriously ill. And changing your lifestyle, changing your diet, changing your sleep habits, meditating, grounding yourself, being more aware. This has changed, literally changed your life. And so for me, and I've heard Althea tell stories also. I've seen Althea's videos when she started working out to where she is now. I've seen the transformation. You know, I when you guys talk, I listen. Dr. Janice Stone, she started Healthy Love with me when I started Healthy Love 10 years ago. When you guys talk, she's also my chiropractor. When you guys talk, I listen. Because I see it happening, I see it working. But I also see this information that I'm presenting tonight. And this is what most of us, we're looking at, but we're not seeing it. It's like when we hear something, but we're not listening. We just miss it. So, Nurse Marva Riley, I thank you very much. You might want to go ahead and put that your information in the chat once more, so that people can connect with you. Because now that they've heard you, they realize that you're the real deal. So you can put it there so that people can connect with you, and also people check out the doctor in you. It's a Facebook group.
Yes,
Check
they can
it out.
just send me. Althea is also an administrator in the group, and sorry, and we will definitely accept anyone who sends us a friend request. It's called The Doctor in You, and this group, we inspire, encourage, and support each other to, so that they can be successful on their healthy journey.
Yes.
But I want to leave with this. I thank you so much for allowing me this time to chat with you about something that
Not a
I'm very,
problem.
very passionate about. But I want to let everybody know your health is your responsibility. Okay, no matter what any fast food company, what advertisement or whatever they do to try to program your mind to think a particular way, ultimately you have to decide to
Yes.
put that food to your lips.
Yes.
And you can
true.
say, no, I will not, because there's a lady in our group that says, before I put that food to my mouth, I ask myself, will this food heal me or will it hurt me? And I think that's a good way, a good reminder for people. Will that food heal me? Once in a blue moon, a treat, it's okay. But fast food eating should not really be a regular way of eating. And if it is, if you don't spend time right now addressing your health, later on, you will have to spend time addressing your sickness. Because
Yes.
these fast food, so-called fast food, will make you sick.
But you know the joke about fast food? It slows you down.
It does.
That's the joke about fast food. It gets me when I think about it. It really gets me. But I'm gonna let me finish presenting this information as it relates to the drinks, because what it ties back to, this fast food and the sodas, what it ties back to is one of the things that we probably don't think about, and it is that very same thing that we're bombarded by in the news constantly right now, COVID-19. And we don't think fast food has a connection to COVID-19 and sugars have a connection to COVID-19. But everything that we've said tonight already points towards being in dis-ease. So when your health is waning, when your immunity is faltering, it leaves you susceptible to anything that is floating around. So connect the dots, people. And that's I have some more information to present to you before I do musical therapy and say goodbye to Facebook Live. But you know, connect the dots. Marva, thank you very much once again.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me, Kevin.
It's a pleasure.
Good
Always.
night.
Good
Bye
night.
bye.
So the next up on the list is is drinks like Sprite and Pepsi, loaded with sugars once again, which these can stoke inflammation in the body, which may not only hinder the immune system, but can also heighten your risk of developing chronic disease later down the road. So they know that it's not an instant thing drinking these sodas that you're going to be affected. So these companies, Big Pharma, is in the game for the long haul. They play the long game, not the short game, the long game. So you start getting these products into your body from an early age, and look how they're marketed. So you start getting these products in your body from an early age. Later on, you realize what is going to happen and what has been happening. Yeah, Erica, let food be your medicine and medicine be your food. So, one clinical trial found that people who drank regular sodas versus those that drank diet soda, milk, or just water had higher levels of uric acid, which is also known to promote inflammation and even insulin resistance, a major indicator of type 2 diabetes. Now, these are people that drink diet soda, milk, or just water. And don't get it twisted. Diet soda is still sweetened with something. Milk, like Marva mentioned earlier, is also sweetened. We don't get the real whole milk anymore. That doesn't happen. So don't even get it twisted. The CAFOs take care of that. So we need to pay attention to those things. The last one on this list, believe it or not, last one is what? Increased risk of obesity. So carrying too much excess weight can have a negative impact on your immune system. And regularly drinking soda can cause weight gain over time. Again, the long game. Soda is a beverage that offers what is called empty calories, meaning that while it costs you calories, none of them offer nutritional values. In fact, the calories in soda do the exact opposite of providing health benefits. According to the Obesity Action Coalition, several studies have shown that obesity can impair immunity in a variety of ways, from decreased cytokine production to altered lymphocyte function. One of the things you hear talked about in COVID treatment is the cytokine storm. So, again, connect the dots. Brittany Buss, MD, Associate Medical Director at WorkCare, explained in an article about melatonin and coronavirus anti-inflammatory cytokines are necessary for proper immune function. Lymphocytes, on the other hand, white blood cells that are part of the immune system that help fight invading viruses and toxins. So, we need to be aware of what is happening here. We need to know how our body functions, what in our body does what. Last week I did a broadcast addressing some of that. Now, while all groups are affected by COVID-19, the aged people as well as those with underlying chronic medical conditions are at the greatest risk. We know this. The higher adherence to refined carbohydrate diets, sweets, and saturated fats contributes to the prevalence of obesity and type 2 diabetes. These disorders increase the risk for severe COVID-19 morbidity and mortality. fast food consumption activates the intrinsic immune system and impairs adaptive immunity, leading to chronic inflammation and impaired host defense against viruses. Impaired host defense against viruses. Let that sink in. Furthermore, inflammatory responses caused by COVID-19 may have long-term costs in surveyed individuals, leading to chronic disorders such as dementia and neurodegenerative disease through neuroinflammatory mechanisms that are related to an unhealthy diet. Therefore, now, more than ever, wider access to healthy foods should be a main concern, and individuals should be aware of healthy eating habits to reduce COVID-19 complications. We don't often connect the dots. We look at some of the other countries and how they're doing well in the fight against COVID-19, but the US is still struggling. Why is the US struggling? The people that recovered from COVID-19, they did so without a vaccine. So why is the big push a vaccine now? Why isn't the push relating to vitamin D, magnesium, sunlight, rest, water, a proper diet? Why isn't the push including these things? All we're hearing about is the vaccine, the vaccine, the vaccine. In order to get back to regular living, to a normal, quote unquote, normal life, we need the vaccine. For what? People were recovering before the vaccine. And I'm not against, hey, let me make sure that y'all know this. I'm not against vaccines. I'm against the ones that don't work. And I'm against the ones that are quite questionable. So let me go on and continue to present some of this information, because it's important to recognize what it is that we're dealing with here. According to TandFonline.com, TandFonline, TandFonline.com. The fast foods can lead to chronic activation of the intrinsic immune system and an inhibition of the adaptive immune system. Let me go ahead and put up the number that y'all can see it if anybody wants to call in before I get off. Briefly, excessive SFA usage may induce a lipotoxic condition and activate the toll-like receptor 4, TLR4, uttered on macrophages, dendritic cells, and neutrophils. The activation of these biological stimulants produces pro-inflammatory mediators and other effectors of the intrinsic immune system. In addition, the use of high-fat diet, HFD, in rats increased macrophage infiltration to lung tissues, specifically in the alveoli. Recently, Seegers et al. Demonstrated that HFD increases influenza A virus-associated cardiovascular damage in mice. Some of you might hear me talk about the similarities between COVID-19 and the flu. Now, again, I have a DJ before my name and not a DR. All the information that I present is information that I searched for. So those of you that want to say something about it, you can comment there on Facebook Live. We're on for a while, and we'll still be on for a little bit. And of course, you can call, you can text, you can WhatsApp, you can Telegram. 773-789-STEW. 773-789-7839. Now, this information is particularly pertinent to COVID-19 patients, agreed on the high rate of infection among lung alveolar epithelial cells and the taking part of lung tissue, inflammation, and alveolar damage in COVID-19 morbidity. Moreover, Fast food consumption and HFD inhibits T and B lymphocyte in the adaptive immune system, followed by an increase in oxidative stress markers. Particularly, oxidative stress induced by HFD impairs T cells, and remember, HFD is high fat diet. It impairs T cells and B cell proliferation and maturation and induces B cell apoptosis. It has vital implication in host protection against viruses. I mentioned this earlier, I mention it again. In an animal intervention, HFD exacerbated lung pathology due to influenza infection and impaired the adaptive immune response. Therefore, high intake of fast foods particularly impairs adaptive resistance, whereas shifting into chronic inflammation and severely weaken host protection against viral morbidity. Listen. If y'all not getting it, let me say it like this. Fast food is impairing our body's ability to provide immunity against viruses. That's the bottom line. So, as we consume these fast foods that are high in high fructose corn syrup, that are high in sugars, that is high in salt, that is high in preservatives and additives, what are we doing to ourselves? So, we're putting ourselves in a position to be more susceptible to a virus that we're trying to get away from. How exactly do you think quarantining is going to be effective if when we're quarantining, we're having diets that are laden with sugar, salt, and unsaturated fats? How? We have these trans fats, we have these unsaturated fats, all in our fast food, in our junk food. There's a reason it's called junk food, by the way. Why? Why are we putting ourselves in a position to kill ourselves? For what? Who is benefiting? Marva said it earlier. The people who are in the more affluent or from the more affluent societies, they're not having these problems. Or if they do have these problems, they don't have it as much. I remember fast food being a treat when I was growing up. So we would actually save money and go out to a fast food restaurant at once a week, usually at the end of the week. And it wouldn't happen every week either. Fast food was a treat. Now, fast food is a standard. So, how healthy a society are we going to have using this standard? So, Erica, as you write your paper on alternative food, I'd love to get a read. So you can send it to me. My email, djkevinstew@gmail.com. You hit me up, Erica. You can hit me up anytime. You know, I'd love to get a read, because these are the things that we somehow we hear it, but we're not ingesting it. We're not paying attention. We're not meditating on it. We're not paying attention wholly and solely to what we're hearing. It goes in one ear, goes out the other, and then we see that beautiful advertisement on TV of that drink that looks so refreshing, that soda, or that meal that looks so delicious, the fast food, not realizing where it is putting us. Comment here. Digging our graves with our teeth because we're eating junk. Yeah, Erica. That's exactly it. Epidemiological data report that various vitamin deficiencies may have increased susceptibility to complications and mortality due to COVID-19 infection. From a practical point of view, fast food intake can decrease the bioavailability of serum levels of essential micronutrients. Moreover, diet quality is inversely associated with fast food intake. Vitamin B1, selenium, and vitamin B3 intake decrease in fast food consumers. The impact of vitamin D has been much discussed recently because of its protective efforts on acute respiratory tract infections. Vitamin D is free, people. It's in the sunlight. Lower serum 25-OH vitamin D concentrations have also been shown to associate with exposure to SARS-CoV-2 infection and COVID-19 severity. This would not be the first time you're hearing me say this. I've presented on this before. Yes, Smooth. We hear it, but we ignore it. Glad to see you with us, DJ Smooth. Much love, brother. Mohari et al. Reported that circulating 25-OHD concentrations were inversely correlated with the consumption of fast food per week in the United Arab Emirates population. Vitamin B status, B as in boy, should also be assessed in COVID-19 patients. Vitamin B deficiency has the potential to suppress immune function, both in innate and adaptive immune responses. High doses of thiamine, vitamin B1, has been recommended for COVID-19 patients. Furthermore, supplementation of niacin B3 can help control the inflammatory process generally caused by interleukin 6 in patients with COVID-19. Another vitamin, folic acid, can be prescribed as an adjunct treatment for COVID-19 and respiratory disease in early stages because tetrahydrofolic acid and 5-methyl tetrahydrofolic acid have strong and stable binding affinities against the SARS-CoV-2 virus. A recent paper reported that methylcobalamin, which is vitamin B12, has the potential to reduce organ damage in COVID-19. So, let me toss this in here. When we have these vitamins that are readily available and not very expensive, that are helpful to us, why aren't these being pushed? But it doesn't stop there with vitamin B and vitamin D. Current evidence has controversial comments regarding vitamin C supplementation in COVID-19 infection. A meta-analysis of 29 control trials with 11,306 participants could not detect any therapeutic effect of vitamin C on upper respiratory tract infections, that is. In contrast, the administration of 15 grams a day of IV vitamin C for 4 days, and this was 1 gram a day of vitamin C, they didn't see any therapeutic effect. Approximately 15 grams a day of IV vitamin C for 4 days decreases mortality in sepsis-related acute respiratory distress syndrome. In another study, 17 COVID-19 patients who received IV vitamin C, 1 gram every 8 hours for 3 days, had a significant decrease in inflammatory markers, including ferritin and D-dimer, and a trend to decreasing FiO2 requirements. That's, well, FeO2 would be iron oxide. It might also help to reduce lung inflammation and lung injury in COVID 19. The essential trace element, cerealium, may be useful in several diseased and cerealium deficient COVID 19 patients. Recently, Zhang et al. Showed an association between the reported cure rates for COVID 19 and selenium status. Basically, there is strong evidence that show low selenium status in both animals and humans can result in more severe forms of the disease. What kind of selenium? What kind of vitamin C? What kind of vitamin D? What kind of vitamin B are we getting from junk food? What are we getting? So, in practice, it is suggested to take these nutrients from the diet. So, it is recommended that people consume high amounts of fiber, whole grains, fruits, and vegetables to boost immune function, especially those who survived from SARS-CoV-2. The therapeutic doses of nutrients may be beneficial as an adjunct therapy in COVID-19 infection. Hear what they said? Whole grains, fruits, vegetables, fiber. These things boost immunity. At what point is any of these things included in the vaccine that is being pushed? Where? At what point are we being advised that we need to pay closer attention to our diets because how we're consuming our food isn't necessarily the best way to go about it, and it could affect our health as it relates to COVID 19? Why do you think this virus is sticking around in the United States? Come on, people. We need to open our eyes. We need to be aware. We're killing ourselves. We're not eating right. We're not drinking water. We're not resting. So, because we're not doing these simple things, we now depend on Big Pharma to help us. So we run to the doctor and we say, Doc, prescribe us something because we need to get back on the job. Because if we don't work, we don't get paid. And if we don't get paid, we can't go and feed our families. And because we're not even getting paid well enough, we have to purchase what is available. And what do we find available? Junk food. You see how it ends up being a systemic cycle of doom and gloom? And some people might look at it and say, well, Stu, you're exaggerating now. You're just going over the top. No, I'm not. I'm calling it as it is. It is necessary to consider the effect of lifestyle habits. For example, diet. And consider it on the vulnerability to COVID-19 and recovery. The large amount of people that will survive from COVID-19 might be exposed to chronic medical circumstances that can be extra worsened by unhealthy diets. There's a recommendation that individuals consume foods high in whole grains, in fiber, in unsaturated fats, and antioxidants to modulate gut microbiome and enhance immune function. If there's one thing that I learned from Dr. Janice Stone, it is that a healthy gut leads to a healthy life. A significant part of our health rests in our stomach. So if your gut microbiome is off, you can take pills, pharmaceuticals up the wazoo. If none of those things contribute to a good gut biome, call it a day. Go ahead, pick out your spot or choose your oven, whatever it is. Call it a day. It's over, it's a wrap. We are the ones at the end of the day that decide what goes into our bodies. No amount of advertisement can decide that for us. So, what are you going to do? What steps are you going to take? How do you know? Take into consideration what fast food is doing to your immunity. Are you paying attention to the fact that you are putting yourself in danger not by going to the fast food restaurant only, but by consuming the fast food? Because the virus cannot survive in a healthy environment. So, if more of us are healthy, what is going to happen with the virus? Now, there's talk of needing booster shots every year. Quite similarly, you have to take the flu shot every year. We see how successful that is. Why do we need to take the flu shot every year? How many times a year do we need to take the flu shot? One time for the year? Flu season comes around one time a year, but is the flu only around one time for the year? The flu is around all year. Here's another misconception. Because we think, oh, round about winter time, that's when the flu. Yeah. Round about winter time is when the flu is most prevalent. Why? Because there's less sunlight. There's less time spent outdoors. When you have less sunlight, what do you have? Less vitamin D. What is the relationship between vitamin D and our health? Vitamin D contributes to a healthy immune system. Are we paying attention to these things? Yeah, a lot of us suffer from leaky guts, Janice. Welcome. Glad to see you. We don't pay attention to what we're putting into our bodies. So we miss out on keeping our bodies healthy. And we ultimately lead to our own demise. Thank you for the compliment, Erica. Truly appreciate of it. We can make a difference. We can fix this. How are we going to go about doing it? If each one of us just pay attention, just one day, to the things that we're putting into our bodies. Take a moment, read the label. And those words that you cannot pronounce, look them up. See what they are. See what they're used for. And then, just like Marva said, that lady in the group, when she's putting something to her mouth and she asked the question, is this going to help me or is this going to hurt me? Is it going to heal me? Is it going to hurt me? Is it good for me? Is it not good for me? Ask these questions. Ask the question, how many products are we consuming that contain high fructose corn syrup? And then ask the other question, why? Why does high fructose corn syrup need to be in these products? We can't even find regular corn anymore. It's genetically, pretty much all the corn is genetically modified. We can't find normal fruits anymore. Because we're led to believe that, it's classy to have seedless grapes. Right, because it's a good advertising campaign that introduced it. Or seedless watermelons. How did they end up being seedless? What are they growing from? And then we introduce these things to our bodies. What are we growing from? And so here comes a virus. And our immunity is struggling. Our immune system is struggling because we don't have the necessary minerals and nutrients to support good immune health. So the few that have taken the time to make sure that their health is on is on par at minimum, they know what is up. They're not really paying attention to the craziness because they know they're healthy. What are we doing? If we don't have millions of dollars to use at will, to just be going to the hospital and just spending a night because we need to get IV vitamin C. We need to, the only thing that we have really is our health. So maybe what we need to start doing is consuming some sprouts. And if we take a couple of dollars and go to the store and buy these veggies, and we go get some mason jars and start growing some of these sprouts, or we get whatever it is, whatever containers that are needed, and some of them are really easy to grow. And then we start consuming these, and we start cutting out the sugars, and we start cutting out the salt. It may not seem like much at the beginning, and you may yearn for it desperately on the beginning of it, on the front end of it. But at the end of the day, when you hit your 70th birthday and you can run down the street with your 17-year-old grandchild, you know that, yes, I did something right. And I get to influence this young life that my great-grandchildren, I don't have to worry about them because I know that I've passed down a legacy of good health, a legacy of thinking, using the thing between the two ears that God has blessed us with, thinking for ourselves, asking the questions. When we go to the doctor, we don't just take whatever the doctor says and the doctor writes us a prescription and say, hey, go take this for 2 weeks and then call me back and tell me how it worked out for you. What you're probably not hearing is there's this new drug and I get this much in perks from writing you this prescription, and so you're going to be the next guinea pig. Of course, that may not be the way things go. But what if it is? You just became a guinea pig. And whatever drug it is that you just took, you need another drug because it has side effects. And you may need a third drug because that drug that you're taking that had to take care of the side effects of the first drug may also have side effects that you need to take another drug to take care of those side effects of. You see how it ends up being a chain reaction that leads nowhere fast. I'm going to call it a night. I'm back here tomorrow with Real Talk to close out the night shift week. I want to thank you all for your participation. Thank you for giving me a listening ear as we address this topic of fast food immune dangers. And go ahead, ask more questions. Ask your doctor questions, ask your nutritionist questions, ask your nurse questions, ask questions all about. Ask your search engines. Ask your devices that talk back to you. Ask the questions. Examine and compare your answers. Again, my job is not to satisfy your hunger. It is to stimulate your appetite. And I trust you have been justly stimulated. Your appetite, that is. I want to thank my affiliates, One Harmony Radio out of the UK, NIE Radio out of New Jersey, Island Worldwide out of New York, WGLRO out of Texas, ClintonLindsay.com, the Foundation Radio Network, PEMG TV, Pulse Media Group. Thank you very much. My sponsors, Althea SU and her Healing Heavenly Hands, Reggae Global Entertainment, GMAT Music Solutions, and Pulse Media Group. Thank you all. You're welcome, Erica. You stay safe also. Let's go ahead and do our part to wherever we are now, we can improve on it. We can always improve on it. If we don't want to improve for ourselves, we can improve for our children and their children. Let's go ahead and start making the change. Let's go ahead and start making the difference. I'm gonna say goodbye to Facebook Live and jump off of here. Thank you once again. Catch you guys tomorrow. Real talk as we close out the night shift week. Y'all be good. If you can't be good at it. Alright? We'll be right back.
Pulse Media Group, innovative streaming and recording, has done it again. A new way to get your business in full view of your neighborhood consumer through AdShare TV. It's available in your neighborhood today. It's easy. Just call us 754-999-6020. Become a host today and place a TV monitor in a strategic location so it's easy to see. Get a 1-minute video ad or longer that plays anywhere in our network. Can't be a host? No problem. For a few dollars, we'll run your 30-second video ad. A host can run announcement specials like buy one get one free or discount ads. Let's turn your flyers into a 30-second video with music or a voiceover, or let us create and run your video ad with a spokesperson. Take advantage of our early enrollment discount. Join us today. Your ad will be seen at least 30 times per day in your AdShare TV neighborhood. It's easy. Just call us 754-999-6020. AdShare TV, part of Pulse Media Group.
Yes, my people, check out I Red Funks on Reggae Global Radio every Saturday at 8 p.m. with Kev Stew, where I'll give you a pre-life, brand new, good for you. Kick it like a ball if you don't say a dance song, you hear that?
Greetings and salutations, one and all. You're invited to tune in to the Night Shift with DJ Kevin Stew. It airs on Mondays with Community and Finance, Tuesdays with Healthy Love, and Wednesdays with Real Talk from 10 p.m. to midnight Eastern Time. Come spend some time interacting in the stew pot where we keep things bubbling and wind down in musical therapy. The Night Shift with DJ Kevin Stew is on kevinstew.com, where you're encouraged to have acceptance through enlightenment.
A social distancing tip. While the CDC urges you to avoid close contact, like hugging or shaking hands, there are other non-physical ways to say hello. Wave, wink, use sign language, salute, smile, give the peace sign, throw up an air high five, do jazz hands. Remember, stay a minimum of 6 feet or 2 arms length away from others and stay home if you can. For more info, visit coronavirus.gov.
Let's all do our part because we're all #AloneTogether. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Hey yo, this is Caraman to let you know that right about now you are logged on to DJ Kevin Stew on the night shift. Don't move.
Yeah. Well, if I never feel the grace of Jah, what would I do now? How we get you now? I feel the powers of the Most High, yeah. In guide with you, yeah. Hey, only I know the things we've been through. Only I know what we go through. Only you know the things we've been through. Only you know what we go through. Well, follow me now. Well, the system can be better. Too much youth a suffer. So how the system going make the youth them tougher. And anyway the food them a go for. But still we are called ganja. Yeah, the system set away. Seems like there's no getaway. We are work every day and I get no pay. Oh my God, please guide us and no way. Only Jah know the things we've been through. Only Jah know all we go through. Jah only you know the things we've been through. Jah only you know all we've been through. So they must say that it's an economical crisis.
As we close out tonight,
I wanna pay the prices.
the sound of singing sweet.
We feel it when every day we see you just raise the prices.
Track called Only Jah Know.
Them a think positive because this would have been a serious thing. And all them a thought them not do a thing. We still lost in a change. Jah know the things we've been through. Only you know all we go through. Jah only you know the things we've been through. Only you know all we go through. Better do something for them youth, yeah. No one see no more turning a shooter. No me a talk to the leader. Better do something for them youth, yeah. Right now. Do it right now. System set away. Seems like there's no getaway. We are work every day and I get no pay. Oh my job, please get us this.
Yeah, man, the system set away. The system is what contributes to our ill health. But it's a contributing factor, not a deciding factor. This is the sound of Korik. Track called Give I Faith.
I've never been the type to link you cause me want this or me need that. But listen to my prayer cause we need you, we mean that. But listen to my prayer now, Jah. Tears them dread out the road, I run red and me don't know if me I gon' make it home. Road boys and police running wild in the streets and it feels like a war zone. Imagine me work so hard I can't let down my guard cause robbers want to take my one. But goodness and mercy will guide and protect me so me know so me not alone. But I need faith to go on. In all this I get the yarn. I need your strength to hold on. Cause on my own I'm just not strong enough. Give me faith to go on. In all this I get the yarn. I need your strength to hold on. Cause on my own I'm just not strong. Ooh, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Ooh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Sure. The hearts of men have grown desperately wicked and them seek the taste of blood. No compassion
wondering what they're made of. Jaja, something seriously wrong with your people. Them not seem to have no love. And I'm of that point of view that we need to turn to you to give us faith to go on. In this Gideon, I need your strength to hold on. Cause on my own I'm just not strong enough. Give my faith to go on. In this Gideon, I need your strength to hold on. Cause on my own I'm just not strong enough. But if you stand with us and help us to rise up, nothing can harm us, no, no. Cause we know that even in this time, with faith, courage, and a just cause, David will still beat Goliath. So we pray, and we wait.
Yeah, man, we pray and we wait.
Give us faith to go.
But we don't give up. Good morning, good afternoon, good day to you wherever you are in the world, from right here in South Florida. I bid you all a blessed good night. Catch you tomorrow when we close out the night shift week with a Real Talk Wednesday.
Cause on my own I'm just not strong enough. Give my faith to go on. In a distant I need your strength to hold on. Cause on my own I'm just not strong enough. On my own I'm just not strong enough. On my own I'm just not strong enough.
Greetings and salutations, one and all. You're invited to tune in to the night shift with DJ Kevin Stew. It airs on Mondays with Community and Finance, Tuesdays with Healthy Love, and Wednesdays with Real Talk from 10 p.m. to midnight Eastern Time. Come spend some time interacting in the stew pot where we keep things bubbling and wind down in musical therapy. The night shift with DJ Kevin Stew is on kevinstew.com, where you're encouraged to have acceptance through enlightenment.